Howdy guys, come on in Libby's Kentucky Kitchen. We are going to make some peanut butter no-bake cookies. We're going to make these peanut butter with no chocolate. You know, some people can't have chocolate, some people don't like chocolate. So I'm going to show you a version of no-bake cookies that has just peanut butter. And we're going to start by putting in 1 stick or half a cup of butter. And I'm just going to kind of cut it up in smaller pieces just so that it'll, you know, it'll melt a little faster and we can get it going here. And I won't have you guys on here all night long trying to wait for butter to melt. That's like, you know, watching paint dry, right? Waiting for butter to melt or water to boil. So anyways, that's 1 stick or half a cup of melted butter. To this, we are going to add ½ cup of packed brown sugar. And mine was kind of mounded up a little bit because it wasn't packed in. And this is 1 1/4 cup of regular white sugar. So if you can see this, we just have butter, white sugar, and dark brown sugar. And I'm just going to move that around a little bit. Now, it doesn't have to be dark brown. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't really matter. To that, I am adding 1/2 of a cup of milk. And this is evaporated milk. I'm sure that you can use, you know, any other kind of milk. Now, I don't know how skim milk would do because I've never cooked with skim milk. But, you know, in a pinch, I've used 2%. So I'm sure whole milk would work. Any of those would work. So in here we have 1 1/4 cup of white sugar, 1/2 cup of brown sugar, 1/2 cup of milk, and 1/2 cup or 1 stick of unsalted. What I'm using is unsalted sweet cream butter. You need to keep that. So if you can see that, that is unsalted sweet cream butter. Now we are going to bring this to a boil. I have my burner on about a medium high is what I've got my burner on. We are going to bring this to a boil, and we are going to boil it for 1 minute and 30 seconds. And what I usually do is I set my little timer here for 2 minutes, and then I just take it off in 1 minute and 30 seconds. And so we want to bring that to a boil. When it comes off of the burner, we will add 3 cups of oats, and it's just regular old Quaker oats, and 1/2 cup to 1/2 cup to 3/4 of a cup, anywhere in between there, depending on how much you like the peanut butter flavor. You know, if you want it very peanut buttery, then add 3/4 of a cup. If you want it just a normal recipe, then 1/2 cup is fine. And then we will add vanilla. And I would suggest using a good peanut butter in this. Good peanut butter and a good butter. And since my butter is not salted, I'm going to put just a tiny, you know, 1 little crank of salt. And that's just pink Himalayan salt is what that is. And this is going to be you know, kind of caramely, because that dark brown sugar is going to kind of give it a little bit of more of a caramel flavor. So we are just waiting for that to boil, and I suggest you have your oats and your vanilla and everything ready for you. So you don't go scrambling around trying to measure and all that kind of stuff once you get this off the stove, because this is very hot. And I use a ice cream scoop. This is a medium-sized scoop to scoop mine out, just because it's so much easier. And I would suggest that you use a good peanut butter. All right, we're just about ready to be boiling. It's just barely starting. So I start my timer while I am stirring, you still have bubbles of it boiling. That's when I start my timer. See if I can bring you over here so you can see without me messing this up. Let's see. Can you see that? So it's just barely starting to boil. So I need to start my timer for 1 minute and 30 seconds. And we use Jif peanut butter. I most of the time use the natural, but this is just what I got this time. Just regular old Jif creamy. Now you can use crunchy if that's what you want and that's what you like. Then use crunchy. And if you want the peanut butter ones, the chocolate peanut butter ones, I have made a video on those, so you can go on and check that. But the recipe is pretty much the same. The only difference is in the very beginning, before you start cooking, then, what is going on there? How come my timer? Oh, I think my timer messed up. I hope that was 2 minutes. I'm going to go another 30 seconds because it was on 1 minute. I'm going to go another 30 seconds just to be on the safe side. Normally I wouldn't do that because this is a pretty temperamental, you know, you got to time these just right. So it was on 1. So I'm going to give it that extra 30 seconds. See, that's what happens when you're in here talking and not paying attention to what you're doing, right? All right. So that was that extra 30 seconds. Now I am going to start with my peanut butter and just a little bit of the oats because I want to kind of cool it down just a hair before I put my vanilla in, because I don't want all the vanilla just to go poof, you know, out and it all evaporate. So I want to kind of get my peanut butter melted, and I do have some wax paper laid out ready for me. And I want this peanut butter to kind of melt down in there a little bit before I add all of those oats in. I want it just kind of all to get in there and get happy. Now we're going to put our vanilla. And that's a half and a whole. And I'm going to put this butter flavor, you know, you guys know I like it. I'm only going to put about a half of that one. And we're going to go with that. Turn that burner off. All right, get that stirred in. Now we're going to put in the rest of our oats. There we go. Oh, there's some more peanut butter. And like I said, if you want the chocolate ones, then you add 4 tablespoons of a good Hershey's Cocoa. At the same time that you are putting in the sugar and the milk and the, you know, all that stuff. And you just make sure all these oats are good and moistened. And you know, they're gonna cook a little bit in this hot mixture, and they're gonna, you know, thicken up once they sit there a minute. Now, you know, I've made these enough. I'm thinking that since we didn't have the cocoa in there, I may have to add just a hair extra oats. So let me see. What did I do with my oats? And you know, I always seem to do this. I always do. I always end up adding just a little bit of extra oats. So I'm going to add about, oops, well, not that much, about 2, I was going for 2 tablespoons. That ended up being about a 1/4 cup, about 3 tablespoons. But it'll be all right. Oh yeah, I think that's just right. So let me pull this up here so that you can actually see kind of what it looks like. So, knock that off so it don't go flying everywhere. So can you see? Oh, and it's dripping. So, and the way I do mine, like I said, is I use this scoop, and let me scooch on back so you can see what I'm doing. And I just take this scoop and scoop it up, put it on, push it down, and that is it. Simple, folks. Simple and easy, just the way I like it. You know, we cook here, and it's nothing fancy. It's just good old home cooking. Good old country cooking from the heart, you know. People can tell when you put, you know, your that little bit of extra in your food, that little bit of from the heart in your food, and that's what I try to do. Nothing fancy around here, just good eats. Good old country cooking. This is one of those quick, simple, and easy recipes. You know, I've got those complicated, takes all day to cook them kind of thing, but that's not what we going for on a Saturday night. And I just kind of push them down a little bit so it'll flatten them out. And if you don't want them pushed down, then leave them in a big tall stack. Just stack them on up. And that is it, folks. That simple, that easy, and that quick. They are done. Now I just have to wait for them to cool, and I don't know if I can. I just wanted to get on here and show you guys how to make a quick, fast, 10-minute quick dessert that most everybody likes. God bless y'all. I wish y'all a wonderful evening. And if you don't have any place to go to church on Sunday, you're more than welcome to come to New Beginning Baptist Church. And that's in Bardstown, Kentucky. We would love to have you. Or, you know, get on Facebook and watch us on Facebook. That'd be great too. Love you guys. Bye.